Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley from sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing more inspiration featuring the It's My Party collection that I designed with Spellbinders. I love this collection so much. It's so versatile, and today I'm going to show you how to use the Party Balloon Bouquet hot foil and die set along with the balloon bouquet design stencil and the sentiment from the giant party balloon to create a gatefold card that actually holds a gift card. This is such a fun design. I'm starting out with a panel of Concord and Ninth white cardstock and some Tide Pool ink, and I'm just ink blending this panel. I'm putting the ink a little bit darker at the top and letting it kind of fade down towards the bottom. Now I die cut this panel using the A2 precision dies from Spellbinders, and then I'm going to set that aside to let the ink dry because we're going to actually do some hot foiling over that, but we need the ink to be dry before we hot foil. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and place my Party Balloon Bouquet hot foil plate onto the platform of my Glimmer. It's all heated and ready to go. And I also have the balloon string there. I set my timer, and when the timer is done, that green light will turn solid instead of blinking. Then I can remove the platform from the base, place it onto my Platinum 6 platform, and then I'm going to add my foil with the pretty side facing the pattern of the hot foil plate, or another way to remember it is that the kind of dull side will always go towards the cardstock. Then I'm going to place some Concord and Ninth white cardstock and then my 2 shims and run that through my Platinum 6. Now I did that in real time so that you can see when I'm removing my platform, I'm not like trying to go super fast. I'm taking my time, making sure everything goes right, and I still get beautiful foiling results. So you can see here, I'm using the Prism foil. This is from Spellbinders, and I went ahead and repeated that process. So I'm going to have 2 of these Party Balloon Bouquets, and I also hot foiled a total of 6 of the balloon strings. Now, once I was done with that, I'm going to go ahead and remove that hot foil plate from the platform, and I'm going to set it aside. I use my magnetic tool there. And now I am using this confetti cover plate type hot foil plate from Spellbinders. It's kind of basically meant to cover the entire surface of an A2 size card. And with this, I'm going to be using the opal foil. Now, the opal foil is one of the only foils that I keep stored on the roll so that I know which side goes towards my plate and which side goes towards my paper. Since this is a transparent iridescent foil, it's very hard for me to tell if I have the right side if I don't have it on the roll. Now, my other foils I actually store in a stamp storage pocket in sheets, and I'm going to show you that later on this week. But for now, I went ahead and foiled this confetti pattern with that opal foil onto that ink blended panel that I created, and you can see that beautiful iridescent confetti shine that I get. Now, right over the top of this confetti foiling, I'm going to take the happy birthday sentiment from the giant Party Balloon hot foil and die set, and I'm going to foil this using some Prism foil and the hinge method. So you can see I've used the Spellbinders Best Ever craft tape to create a hinge on the bottom of my sentiment, and then I slid my foil underneath it, and then I'll place this with the back of the plate on the platform of my Glimmer hot foil system and set the timer. Now, once that timer's done, I'm going to remove the platform from the base, take it over to my Platinum 6, and because I already have my foil and my cardstock on there, all I need to do is add my thin shim and my spacer and run that through my Platinum 6. Now, these shims or these spacer pads come with the Glimmer system, so if you're wondering where I got those, they're just a part of the initial setup. Once I run that through, I can remove this from the platform, and then I can remove the backer of my foil. Now, there was one little tiny piece that was overlapping a confetti that it didn't make contact with the cardstock in that spot. So a little tiny piece of my Y is missing. Otherwise, I got a beautiful result. Now I have picked an array of ink colors here, kind of a rainbow theme here. And I am going to do some ink blending onto my Party Balloon Bouquets. Remember, I have 2 of these, so I have 6 colors chosen. And I'm starting with the top balloon in this first bouquet, and I'm going to kind of mask off areas of the stencil that I don't need. And I'm also going to use the masks included with this stencil set to mask off the 2 balloons below it so I don't get any ink into those balloons. And I am blending in using some honeysuckle ink. Now I'm kind of keeping in mind that I want the ink to be a little bit darker at the bottom and get lighter at the top. If you don't want to kind of focus on that, you don't have to. You can blend these any way that you want. And you can keep this as simple or as complicated as you want, because there are a lot of designs included on this stencil where you can add stripes and swirl patterns and confetti or glares onto the balloons. So there's so many options. So you can kind of play and mix and match all of these options together, or you can just blend a single solid color and it looks great as well. So I'm just working my way through this balloon bouquet. The second color that I used was the Sorbet ink. These are all Concord and 9th inks, by the way. Then I'm going to move on to my final balloon of this bouquet. And for that, I am going to use the Clementine ink. Now, you're going to notice that as these inks dry, they're going to soak into the paper, they're going to soften and smooth out, and the color may change just a little bit. And I think it's kind of cool because that Sorbet really does kind of lean a little red in this color combination. It doesn't normally, but because it's surrounded by a truer orange and a pink, it kind of takes on the place of a red in this color palette. Now, once I get this third balloon ink blended with the Clementine ink, I am going to work through the other balloon bouquet in the same exact order, but I'm going to use the Honeycomb, Juniper, and Peacock inks to create a yellow, a green, and a blue. Now, I decided to go back and add some confetti to each of these balloons, and I'm just using the same ink color that I used to blend the base of these balloons. But this time I'm using a 1/2-inch blending brush from Pink Fresh Studio because this allows me to control the area that I'm blending and I don't have to do a lot of masking. So by using a smaller brush, I can really control where I'm putting the ink and I don't have to worry about bleeding into the balloon that's next to it. Now that I have all of my confetti added to all of the balloons, I'm going to use the coordinating die and die cut each of these balloon bouquets. You can see I have a really cool look there with all the confetti. And I'm also going to die cut all of the balloon strings. And these are both going to sit on my card front. We're going to create a cool gatefold out of these to reveal a gift card underneath. Now the next step is to take that panel that I have the confetti and the sentiment on, and I'm going to do a partial die cut here because I'm going to allow this happy birthday portion on the inside of this gatefold to be a gift card holder. So I am going to tape the die in place, and then I'm going to rotate this so that the bottom of my die is going into my die cut machine first. And I'm going to take the cutting plate that sits on top of my die cutting sandwich, and I am only going to cover like 2/3 of this die with the die cutting plate. So you're going to see that this bottom part of the die is actually sticking out of the die cutting sandwich. So I'm only going to cut what's between the two plates. So the top part of this die, and the part that's on the bottom that's hanging out will not die cut. So I'm just going to slide that into my die cut machine, run that through, and I'm going to show you here in a minute that the bottom part did not cut, but the top part did. So I have what's called a partial die cut here. And this is wide enough to slip a gift card into and allow this to be a gift card holder. So you can see I'm just taking a Starbucks gift card here because that's my favorite place. You can always send me a Starbucks card. It will get used, I promise. But you can see I can slide it into that partial die cut and that becomes a gift card holder. Now, when we designed these balloon bouquets and the giant party balloon, we designed a little slit into the die cut for the outer piece. And that is so that you can take your balloon strings and slide them up into that slit. And then it looks like it's kind of more one continuous piece rather than a separate piece. It also allows these to be a little more versatile for what you use them for. They can become disco balls and cuties and lollipops and ornaments just by keeping that balloon string separate. But we did create that slit so that you can slide the balloon strings up underneath the foiled edge of the balloon and it looks like it's all one piece. Now, once I have those in place, I flip them over and I glue them in place on the back of the balloon bouquet. And because I'm creating a gatefold feature out of these, I'm going to reinforce the balloon strings with a second die cut that's just plain white that I've trimmed down and placed on the back just to give it a little more sturdiness. And then I'm going to add the third balloon string of the grouping onto the back side. I like to cover that knot and have it sit a little bit higher than the other two balloon strings, but I am using my grid mat to make sure that I get all of these really perpendicular so that they're all hanging straight down. So now it's time to take our balloon bouquets over to our scoreboard and create a score line. And this is going to create our gatefold function of our card. And you can really do this with any large die cuts that you may have. I went over about, I don't know, maybe a ½ inch from the edge of this orange balloon and created a score line. And on this one, I am going to create the score line on the opposite edge. So I'm going to score it onto the blue balloon. And once again, just using about a ½ inch. This was kind of an awkward way to do it here, the way I was holding it. I don't know. You could flip your scoreboard around and make it a little bit easier, but you can see that score line there, just very easy to create. I'm going to fold on the score line and then just reinforce it with my bone folder. And then I'm going to add adhesive to those tabs that I created with my score line. So only to the back of those tabs that were created with the score line. I'm just using some 1/8 inch wide score tape here. And then I can go ahead and remove the backer of this double-sided tape and place the tab on the back side of this confetti panel that I've created that's holding my gift card. So I'm just pressing that tab onto the back of the panel, and that's going to create the first function of my gatefold. I'm going to repeat this process with the second balloon bouquet. I'm just going to place the tab onto the back side of this panel that I created and just position my balloons to where you can see them from behind the first cluster of balloons. And that creates my second kind of functioning piece of my gatefold design. So when I get these all on, you're going to have 2 balloon bouquets that are then going to fold open to reveal another sentiment and a gift card. Isn't that fun? I have had this in mind to create for quite some time, and I just finally had the time to play with it this week, and I love the way it turned out. Now I'm going to trim off the extra balloon strings that are hanging down from the bottom of the second balloon cluster, and you could really fold these in either way with the first balloon set on top or the second balloon set on top. It's up to you. I'm going to flip this over and add foam tape to the back side. Now, if you're trying to steal this Starbucks card number right now, shame on you. Don't do it. I didn't cover it up. I believe it's empty anyway. But I added the foam adhesive all around the area for the gift card. I made sure I did not come into the area where the gift card would be on the back side of this panel so that it could easily slide in and out. So I just basically went all around the border of this panel, added my foam adhesive, and then added this onto a top folding A2 size card. Then I can slip my gift card in there. It really is easy. I'm just fumbling with it. And you can see I have this really fun gatefold design, and it sits on top of a standard A2 size card, so you still have a place to write your message. Now I'm going to finish this card off with a sentiment, a foiled sentiment from Yana's Special Sentiments that I've die cut out. And I'm also going to add some sparkling clear confetti using a dual tipped embellishment tool and some liquid glue to place those onto my card front. And I also added another sentiment inside of this gatefold area that says "Time to Celebrate." So that finishes off my gatefold design featuring the Party Balloon Bouquet hot foil plate from myself, Carissa Wiley, and Spellbinders. I'm absolutely loving playing with this new It's My Party collection. I hope you'll check it out, and I hope you're enjoying creating with it as well. I will put links to the featured products used in this project in the description below. But if you're looking for more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies, be sure you head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I'm going to have that linked below. Over there, you're going to find all the information that you need. I think this card design is so much fun, and what a fun surprise to have that gift card hidden behind those party balloons. Just a great way to kind of change up the way that you use this party balloon bouquet. As always, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials. Leave a comment below and let me know if this is a card that you want to make soon with your It's My Party collection, or maybe you're going to apply this technique to one of your die sets that you already have in your stash. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks again for watching. I'm so glad you're here, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.